The movie begins in a cold, isolated prison where we see a prisoner being taken to his cell. After reaching the cell, he meets his cellmates, Ejin Darvis and Holga. The prisoner becomes excited about having a woman as a cellmate and tries to approach her inappropriately. Holga, furious, breaks his leg and knocks him to the floor. Ejin and Holga are forced to work every day in the freezing cold, chopping ice. Ejin holds on to hope that Jonathan, a council member, to free them from this place. One day, the duo is summoned by the council to give testimony to determine their eligibility for pardon, but unfortunately, Jonathan was delayed by a storm. The council, unwilling to wait for him, asks Ejin to share his story. Ejin explains that he wasn't always a thief. He once belonged to the Harpers, a group sworn to fight tyranny. His wife, Zia, fully supported him, aware of the risks. Ejin helped bring bandits and red wizards to justice. Life was going well. He had a beautiful wife and a daughter. But one day, his wife Zia was killed by disciples of a red wizard Ejin had arrested. Zia managed to hide Kira from the attackers, but her death shattered Ejin, and he abandoned his oath. Stricken with grief, Ejin turned to drinking heavily. That's when he met Holga, who took pity on Kira and brought both Ejin and Kira into her house. Holga had been cast out of her tribe for falling in love with an outsider. Holga only saw Ejin as a brother. Since neither of them was earning money, they turned to thievery to survive. As they had no one to watch over Kira, so they took her wherever they go. They were joined by amateur sorcerer Simon Amar and a con artist Forge Fitzwilliam. But one day, a wizard named Sophia approached them with a plan to rob Corin's keep, a Harper stronghold filled with priceless relics confiscated from evildoers. Ejin initially refused, but Forge mentioned a relic among the treasures, a tablet of reawakening, capable of bringing a person back from the dead. Desperate to resurrect his wife, Ejin reluctantly agreed. This time, they decided not to bring Kira along due to the danger. The group sneaked into the keep and retrieved what they came for, but an alarm went off and the guards pursued them. During the fight, Sophia cast a spell that stopped time around them, trapping Ejin and Holga. But just before Ejin is caught in the spell, he managed to throw the tablet to Forge, instructing him to keep Kira safe. Jonathan finally arrived at the council, but Ejin and Holga had a plan. They took Jonathan hostage and threw him out of a window, forcing him to fly them away to freedom. They made their escape, heading back home. Ejin and Holga reach their house and find that Kira is nowhere to be found, so they decided to head north to find Forge, knowing Kira will likely be with him. As they unfold a piece of paper, they see Forge's portrait on it and realize that he has become the Lord of Neverwinter. Shocked, they head to Neverwinter. Upon arrival, they see Forge's portrait displayed throughout the city. After waiting for a while, Kira approaches and greets Ejin and Holga, but she was mad with Ejin because Forge has convinced her that Ejin's selfish greed led to his arrest. Forge also comes and greets them warmly. He explains that he was determined to become a better person for Kira. So when Lord Neverember fell ill, Forge seized the opportunity to take power, using the stolen treasure from Corin's keep to fund his campaign. Forge also reveals that Sophia is working for him as his top advisor. Since Sophia was responsible for their capture, Ejin and Holga were not happy to see her. Ejin demands the return of his tablet, but Kira, disappointed, tells Ejin that he didn't come for her, but for the Tablet of Riches. Ejin and Holga try to explain that it is actually the Tablet of Reawakening, not a Tablet of Riches. But Forge has already poisoned Kira's mind. Amidst the tension, Forge shows the wanted posters of Ejin and Holga, making Kira even more upset before she storms out of the room. Forge then tells Ejin and Holga that he will not return the tablet or Kira. Enraged, Ejin and Holga try to attack Forge, but Sophia casts a spell that turns the floor into quicksand, trapping them. Forge orders his guards to return Ejin and Holga to prison and collect the bounty on their heads, while he leaves to attend to important matters regarding the High Sun Games. However, Sophia has a different plan and instructs the guards to kill them. The guards take them to an isolated location to behead them, but Holga distracts the guards by asking silly questions while trying to take out the stone from the ground. She finally grabs the stone and uses it to knock out one of the guards, then starts fighting the others. Holga single-handedly defeats the guards while Ejin works on untying the ropes. They escape and, determined to bring Kira back, decide to form a team. Since they have no money to pay for help, they plan to rob Forge's vault and steal the tablet, prove their innocence to Kira, and resurrect Ejin's wife during the upcoming High Sun Games. Lacking a skilled sorcerer, they decide to recruit Simon. Meanwhile, Forge tells Kira that he gave the Tablet of Riches to Ejin, claiming Ejin left her behind again for the tablet, which saddens her. Ejin and Holga track down Simon, who is performing a magic show while secretly stealing from the audience. However, he is soon caught, and the angry crowd tries to seize him, but he barely manages to escape. They reunite with Simon, who reveals that Sophia also tried to kill him after their escape, and Forge did nothing to help. Simon agrees to help them take down Forge and suggests they recruit Doric. They arrive at a scene where a girl is sentenced to death for opposing Forge. Just as she is about to be executed, a horse transforms into an owlbear, attacking the guards and saving the girl. The shapeshifter turns out to be Doric, a druid raised by a wood elf enclave in the Neverwinter Wood. The group tries to recruit Doric, but she is hesitant as she doesn't trust humans. After much discussion, Doric finally agrees to help Ejin, seeing that no one else is willing to stand up to Forge. Meanwhile, in the castle, Sophia is seen conversing with Sas Tam, the powerful red wizard and ruler of Thay. It becomes clear that Sophia is merely using Forge to carry out her dark plans. Some important officials arrive to inspect the vault, wanting to ensure that their wealth is secure. Sophia reassures them that the vault is protected by the arcane seal of Mordenkainen, a powerful magic barrier that no ordinary wizard can break. Doric had already shapeshifts into a fly and infiltrated Forge's castle, where she discovers about the vault. However, Sophia detects Doric's presence and begins attacking her. Doric rapidly shapeshifts into different creatures in an attempt to escape, but Sophia relentlessly pursues her. Luckily, Doric manages to flee the town disguised as a deer. Upon arriving, Doric informs the group that the vault is protected by the arcane seal of Mordenkainen. Simon tells them that it's impossible to disable the vault under such powerful magic. However, he believes that a magical relic called the Helm of Disjunction could disable all nearby enchantments. Unfortunately, the helm went missing ages ago, so their chances seem slim. Holga then mentions that their ancestors fought for the helm centuries ago against the cult of dragons at Evermoors. So they decide to head to the Evermoors, where Simon plans to use a spell to temporarily bring the dead back to life to gather information. They travel to an old graveyard to question Holga's ancestors about the whereabouts of the Helm of Disjunction. They start digging up graves, and Simon uses a talisman to resurrect each corpse long enough to ask 5 questions. The first corpse reveals that he gave the helm to Grimwolf. They then dig up Grimwolf's grave, and he tells them that he passed the helm to Ven Salafin. They continue digging up multiple graves, tracing the path of the helm. Finally, a corpse tells them that the helm was given to Zenk Yandar, a Thaian who narrowly escaped Sas Tam and now lives in exile. Ejin becomes frustrated, knowing that the Thaians are known for their cruelty, and he begins to lose hope. However, Doric, Simon, and Holga have already heard stories of Zenk, claiming he is a good man. Holga manages to convince Ejin by telling him she'll personally kill Zenk if he turns out to be a prick. Doric adds that Zenk has been working with the Harpers in Mornbryn's shield. With renewed determination, they set off to find Zenk. The group finally meets Zenk, who is initially hesitant to help them find the helm. However, he agrees to help when he realizes that Forge has allied with the Red Wizards. Zenk suspects that Sas Tam is up to something evil. He recounts how, over a century ago, Sas Tam, who ruled the nation of Thai, gathered the citizens of the capital for a celebration. In truth, Tam planned an unholy coup. He cast a spell that consumed the souls of all who beheld it, turning them into an undead army to conquer the nation. Zenk believes that Tam plans to extend the spell's reach until it consumes all of Faerun. After making Ejin swear to distribute any riches they gain to the people of Neverwinter, Zenk guides the group through the Underdark to retrieve the helm. They head to Crypt Garden Forest, where the entrance to the Underdark is located. They tie a rope to a tree and descend one by one. Along the way, they encounter small brain-eating monsters that take control of their hosts' bodies. Eventually, they reach the hanging city of Dolblund, where the helm lies on the far side. To retrieve it, they must cross a trap-filled bridge. Zenk begins to explain how to cross the bridge safely, but Simon accidentally steps on the block, causing the bridge to crumble and destroying their only way across. Holga plans to throw her axe, tied with a rope, to the other side. As she is preparing, Simon notices a staff obtained from Holga's halfling ex-husband, realizing it's a teleportation staff. Using the staff, they teleport to the other side. Zenk retrieves the helm and entrusts it to Edgin. Just then, they are attacked by Thyan assassins sent by Sophia. Zenk fights the assassins alone, killing them, but their wounds quickly heal, and they continue their pursuit. The group flees into a cave where they encounter Themberchaud, a red dragon. The dragon begins attacking, recklessly chasing after them and destroying everything in its path. During the escape, Edgin falls toward the dragon's mouth, but Zenk saves him just in time and gets in one of the tunnel. However, the dragon is relentless and continues to chase them. The group reaches a dead end, and Edgin devises a plan to collapse the cave. They manage to escape as the cave collapses behind them. Zenk departs, wishing them luck in completing the rest of their quest. But Simon has to connect with the helm, or it will be useless. As soon as he puts on the helmet, he finds himself in a different dimension, where he meets his great-great-grandfather, Omar. Omar asks him if he's worthy of the helm. Simon was quite nervous. Omar tells that magic chooses those who are truly worthy and not fools. With that, Omar knocks him out of the dimension. Simon struggles to master the helm's power, as it resists allowing him to wield its abilities. After hours of trying, he still can't attune with it. Frustrated, he blames Edgin, reminding him that he had already warned him that the plan wouldn't work because he wasn't a skilled sorcerer. The group's morale falters, and everyone considers quitting. However, Edgin, who has lived his entire life feeling like a failure, refuses to give up and confesses that he was responsible for his wife's death. He explains that he had stolen treasure from the Red Wizards without realizing it was marked, leading them to his family and causing their tragedy. He tells the group that he can't give up. Moved by his words, they agree to join him and devise a plan. They will use the transportation staff to mark one of the treasures and sneak it into the vault. The next day, they decide to intercept one of the convoys. Before doing so, they buy a picture frame and mark a portal on it. Edgin camouflages himself on the ground and attaches the frame to the bottom of the cart. Doric sneaks inside, but the frame almost falls off. Fortunately, Simon manages to catch it, allowing Doric to securely place it on the cart. She then shapeshifts into a fly and escapes from the cart. They finally reached Neverwinter, where the High Sun Games were taking place. After getting to a safe house, they decided to use the staff to enter the vault during the games. However, the portal opened facing the floor. With no other options, Edgin tells them to proceed with Plan A, where Simon would attune with the helm to access the vault. Though reluctant, Simon agrees to enter through the front door and attacks the castle alongside Holga and Edgin, while Doric plans to dig a small hole into the wall to get through by transforming into a worm. Simon creates an illusion of Edgin to distract the guards, but his foot gets stuck. As the illusion begins to distort, it alerts the guards, who spot them. However, they manage to get inside the castle, though guards quickly begin to chase them. Holga decides to stay back and fight, holding them off with all her strength, while Simon and Edgin make their way toward the vault. Holga manages to get rid of the guards. Simon finally reaches the vault door, but when guards surround him, he decides to attune with the helmet. This time, fueled by anger, he punches his great-great-grandfather and realizes it was only his illusion. Now attuned with the helm, he opens the magically sealed door. Meanwhile, Doric also manages to enter the vault by shape-shifting as a worm. Inside, they notice something wrong. Doric realizes the treasure is under the arena, and Forge has been stealing it for himself. Before they can act, a guard knocks Doric down, and Simon and Holga are captured. Edgin, reunited with Kira, and asks for forgiveness, but it turns out to be Sophia in disguise who captures him. Forge arrives and advises Ejin to stop searching for Kira and decide to leave before Sophia kills him. Desperate, Ejin pleads with Forge to let them participate in the High Sun Games instead of killing them. Forge and Sophia agree to Ejin's request, and the group soon finds themselves in the arena. While Doric and Simon are cuffed with anti-magic restraints, they are finally raised into the arena, surrounded by towering pillars that set the stage for the games. The game finally begins, with monsters ready to kill all the participants. Their goal is to reach a cage at the center of a vast maze. Meanwhile, Forge's ship is fully loaded with treasure, so he leaves Neverwinter in Sophia's hands. Back in the arena, the group struggles to reach the cage. At one point, Doric's hand gets caught in a trap, but with Holga's help, she frees herself, accidentally removing her cuff in the process. Upon reaching the cage, Ejin realizes that entering it would trap them in a never-ending loop of the game. Doric suggests an alternative escape, jumping into a jelly-like substance that can burn the body if one stays in it too long. With her cuffs removed, they decide to trust her plan. They all jump in, getting themselves below the arena. Doric then transforms into a snake and pulls each one of them out before the substance can harm them, and they retrieve their weapons. The group heads toward the boat with the treasure. Forge arrives, convincing Kira that they are going on a trip. Ejin finally persuades Kira that Forge has been lying to her and urges her to come with them. Desperate, Forge takes Kira hostage, demanding the treasure in exchange for her release. But Holga throws a potato at him, distracting him. They seize the boat, and Simon creates a wave to help them escape from Neverwinter. Meanwhile, in the castle, Sophia begins casting an enchantment. On their way, the group notices a strange cloud descending from the sky. They realize that Sophia had organized the games to draw a massive crowd, intending to transform them into an undead army using the same curse that destroyed Thay. Determined to stop her, they head back. Meanwhile, Sophia has already begun her unholy coup, transforming people by consuming their souls. Ejin devises a plan to use the teleportation staff to transport Forge's stolen riches from the boat and spread them across the city with a hot air balloon, drawing people out of the stadium before Sophia's spell takes effect. Furious at her failure, Sophia attacks the group, casting fireballs from the sky and bringing a dragon statue to life. The group fights the dragon with all their strength, but they are no match. Doric manages to strike Sophia, disrupting her spell just before the dragon devours Ejin. The group then engages Sophia, but her power is overwhelming. Finally, Sophia casts a time stop spell, and it seems as though all hope is lost. However, Kira uses her invisibility pendant to place an anti-magic bracelet on Sophia, cutting off her magic. It turns out Simon has mastered his magic, nullifying Sophia's time stop spell, allowing Kira to make her move. Doric attacks Sophia in her owlbear form, and Sophia is crushed by falling debris, which kills her. Their victory is short-lived, as Holga is fatally injured by Sophia and dies from her wounds. Realizing Holga has become a true part of their family, Ejin uses the tablet to bring her back to life. In the end, the group is seen celebrating their victory, and finally Doric accepts Simon's proposal. With Sophia's magic dispelled, Lord Neverember is finally restored. The old Lord of Neverwinter declares the team the heroes of Neverwinter. Meanwhile, Zenk sends Forge to Revel's End, where he fails to escape as Ejin and Holga once did when his pardon is denied. Thank you for watching Movie Mind. Subscribe for more updates.